one of the architects of the residential school system, and a group of non-Indigenous students have been working to have the name changed. As Tamara Pimentel reports now, Indigenous and non-Indigenous people are working together to get that done.
For these grade 8 students of Langevin School, Joy McCullough and Zach Helfenbaum, reconciliation means to make amends and to do what's right. And when they learned who their school was named after, they knew the right thing to do was to have the name removed.
It makes me feel sad that, to this day, there's still, a school that was named after someone like that.
It's a very racist name, I find. If I were Indigenous and I had to walk into a school that had something like this name, I'd feel very sad and angry.
Hector Louis Langevin was one of the fathers of Confederation and an architect of residential schools. The students wrote a letter to the Calgary Board of Education 4 years ago to have the name removed. And when they were turned down, they reached out to Indigenous advocates in the city. A committee of Indigenous and non-Indigenous residents was formed. As a child, Heather Lucier attended Langevin School for 10 years.
It's really inspiring that children would take up this fight, especially non-Indigenous settler allies, and that really gives me a sense of hope. And this group that I'm working with are mostly settlers, and they're doing a great job, and they're very supportive.
Rosemary Brown says she doesn't want her grandchildren growing up with a false understanding of how Canada was built.
By renaming the school, you open up that conversation. There are deeper learnings. You open up the issue of how do you decolonize education as a whole. I want my grandchildren to grow up in a country based on truth and human rights.
Now with more momentum, the students are trying again. In an email to APTN, the Calgary Board of Education says the board is currently finalizing a process by which schools may be considered for renaming. The students say they want a process to be made so no one else has to go through this fight in the future.
It's only a small step in reconciliation, but I think it is a meaningful one. And I know some people have they're like, oh, it's not making much of a difference, but it's making a difference to me, and to Heather, and it just gives me some peace of mind.
Tamara Pimentel, APTN National News, Calgary.